How to fix DLSS frame generation not showing in Resident Evil Requiem. Welcome back to Tenebalta. Frame generation is a revolutionary technology for RTX 5000 series users, but encountering missing DLSS options in modern titles can be incredibly frustrating. During our extensive hardware testing with Resident Evil Requiem, our technical team noticed that the DLSS multi-frame generation option would completely disappear from the graphics menu. Instead, the game would only display AMD FSR 3 as the available frame generation technology, despite running on an RTX 5070. Tenebalta immediately launched a full diagnostic investigation to uncover why this software conflict occurs and how to force the engine to recognize NVIDIA hardware properly. We have isolated the exact Windows and NVIDIA App parameters required to resolve this issue permanently. To begin our troubleshooting process, we need to access the core display configuration within your operating system. Open your Windows Settings menu and navigate directly to the System section on the primary dashboard. From there, select the Display panel to access the foundational rendering preferences governing your hardware. Scroll down through the Display menu until you locate the related settings category. Click on the Graphics option to reveal application-specific rendering assignments and priority levels. This area controls how Windows allocates graphical resources to heavy workloads like modern gaming engines. Our testing showed that borderless windowed modes often conflict with frame generation injection on modern architectures. In the Graphics menu, look for the setting labeled Optimizations for Windowed Games and toggle it on. This ensures seamless variable refresh rate delivery, even if Resident Evil Requiem loses exclusive full-screen focus. Next, we must force the operating system to prioritize your RTX 5000 series card without relying on automatic switching. Navigate to the Advanced Graphics settings and locate the default GPU selection drop-down menu. Manually assign your RTX 5070 or equivalent 5000 series graphics card as the absolute high-performance default. This is arguably the most critical requirement for any NVIDIA frame generation technology to function correctly. In the same menu, locate Hardware Accelerated GPU Scheduling and flip the toggle switch to the active position. This delegates memory management directly to the GPU processor, completely bypassing traditional CPU bottlenecks. Windows cannot apply memory management protocol changes dynamically while the system kernel is actively running. You must perform a complete system reboot to properly initialize hardware-accelerated GPU scheduling. Tenebalta strongly advises restarting your machine right now before proceeding to the complex software override steps. After your system reboots, launch the new NVIDIA App, which effectively replaces the legacy GeForce Experience software. Navigate to the Settings tab and locate the specific option to opt into experimental application updates. Check the box that says Sign up to access beta or experimental features to unlock advanced driver capabilities. With these beta features unlocked, return to the main dashboard navigation of the NVIDIA App. Click on the Graphics section and switch over to the Global Settings tab for system-wide alterations. This is where Tenebalta discovered the hidden overrides that force Resident Evil Requiem to recognize multi-frame generation. Scroll through the Global Settings list until you find the parameter labeled DLSS Override. This experimental feature allows users to bypass game engine restrictions and inject higher-tier DLSS scaling. Click on this setting to expand the configuration drop-down menu and reveal the injection methods. Inside the DLSS Override menu, you will see distinct options for both dynamic and fixed scaling methods. If you choose the dynamic setting, you must also define a maximum frame rate limit in the software. Below the dynamic toggle, set the frame generation multiplier strictly to 6x for optimal RTX 5000 series performance. Alternatively, if you prefer a static frame pacing environment, select the fixed option from the Override menu. For this configuration, simply selecting the 6x parameter is entirely sufficient for proper injection. Our analysis confirmed that supported games will now utilize 6x multi-frame generation, while unsupported titles will safely default to standard 4x. If the NVIDIA App configurations do not immediately manifest in the game, engine corruption might be blocking the API. Open your Steam client, right-click Resident Evil Requiem, and navigate to the Local Files Properties window. Run a complete verification of game file integrity to replace any damaged or missing engine executables. Driver registry conflicts frequently masquerade as unsupported hardware errors in the Graphics Options menu. Download the latest RTX 5000 series driver package directly from the official NVIDIA software repository. Choose the custom installation route and ensure you check the box for a clean installation to wipe legacy profiles. Sometimes game developers ship outdated DLSS binary files that fail to communicate with the newest driver overrides. Tennebalter recommends downloading the latest DLSS Frame Generation (DLL) files from a trusted database. Replace the existing frame generation file in the Resident Evil Requiem installation directory to force API compatibility. Third-party software hooks can intercept the DirectX render pipeline, fundamentally breaking the DLSS generation sequence. Close applications like Discord overlays, Riva Tuner statistics server, or any aggressive hardware monitoring tools. Launch the game in a completely clean desktop environment to ensure uninterrupted frame delivery to your monitor. Residual shader compilations from previous driver versions can block the initialization of new rendering features. Search for disk cleanup in your Windows taskbar and select your primary operating system drive. Check the DirectX shader cache box and delete these temporary files to force the game engine to recompile cleanly. If all system-level overrides fail, the game's internal configuration file might be locked in a read-only broken state. Navigate to your app data folder or the game's designated save directory located in your Documents folder. Delete the configuration file, forcing the engine to generate a fresh hardware detection profile upon the next launch. Don't forget to follow Tennebalter for more.